Perfect. Awesome. I think we're good here. Well, Mr. Caleb, I appreciate you hopping on. And like we talked earlier, I know you got had a long day, and so try not to keep you too long. But just to dive in, tell everybody about yourself, about your church, and where y'all are at.
Well, I'm Caleb, like you said, Caleb Crumpton. We're at Cleburne County Baptist Church in Heber Springs, Arkansas. Our pastor is Tim Crumpton, and I am the junior church director and song leader at our church. So that's what I do. And yeah, we've run a couple of campaigns with the Digital Outreach Ministry, and so far our experience has been really good with it.
Awesome. And explain to me again. I didn't ask you earlier. What was the first campaign y'all ran? What was the day, the special day?
The first one was our Easter service.
Okay, it was for Easter. Okay, that's what I was thinking. So you ran one for Easter, and then you ran one for VBS, which was just recently. What would do you remember about how many visitors y'all seen for the Easter one?
I believe for the Easter service, we ran a 4-week campaign on the with the Digital Outreach Ministry, and I believe we had 26 first-time visitors that had never been
Awesome.
to our church before, and then we had 4 others that hadn't been to our church in years, and they came as a result of the Facebook ads as well.
Awesome, awesome. So 26 first-time visitors, that's great. What was do you know if those primarily came from the ad? Did y'all have any other visitors from any other avenues off the top of your head?
Uh, we had one other family that came just as a result of hitting the streets, knocking doors. We
Knocking
do
doors.
at our church. We don't quite have the wherewithal to do church organized outreach once a week, but we do it once a month. So one
Yeah.
Saturday a month, we knock doors in our community.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah, no, that's great. But yeah, no, that's still good to see one first-time visitor from door knocking, family. We'll knock on doors for weeks sometimes. Like we go out once a week, but there's only a small group of us that go out once a week. We have like a once a month kind of like real big push for church wide going out. But yeah, like we might knock on doors sometimes for 2 months and not see any visitors. So, just to
Mhm.
see one family, from door knocking is a great thing. But 26 visitors, that's awesome. So for Easter, is that all y'all did was door knocking and then the Digital Tract Ministry?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, awesome. And so 26 first-time visitors, a new family that came from that ain't been there in years.
Mhm.
So tell us about VBS
And
now.
one
Go ahead.
one other thing about that Easter service, uh there's a couple that has been coming almost every service since then, since Easter.
Amen.
So they've kind of stuck, and they really love it, and they've been coming consistently.
Amen. That's beautiful. Yeah, that's the great piece about it is whenever people stick and stay. And we probably got like four solid families in our church right now that are involved. And from them, we've seen several people that have came to our church now. From them, inviting folks they know. Just from the Digital Tracts ministry we ran for probably about the past year, we've seen about four solid families stick and stay. Now, when I say the ads that we run, we don't run them every month. We just run them for all of our special days. So we might run them for 5, 6 special days a year, mainly because of our limitations in our facility. We only seat like 72 people, and our church runs about 60 to 70. And so, it's really we've been very, very limited. We're almost finished with our new sanctuary building. Once we get into there, we might hammer them a little bit more. But yeah, just the past year, just a handful of times we've ran some month-long campaigns. We probably got 4 solid families that are faithful and plugged in. So, anyways, yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome for sure. So, what about VBS? How many? Tell us. I know you messaged the other day that you don't know if you got an exact count, but off the top of your mind, what do you think was a roundabout number that y'all seen visitor wise?
Yeah. So for VBS, we ran a 3-week campaign right before our BBS, and like I said, I don't have an exact number, but I believe it was about 16 adults that we were able to ask and talk to that said they brought their kids as a result of the Facebook ads, and that was
Yeah.
the first time they had been to our church. And about It's really hard to tell with kids,
Yeah,
because the way our VBS runs is we have most of it. We don't really have a bus ministry operational right now, so it's a lot of parents bring their kids, drop them off, and then they come back and pick them up. So my estimation, just from seeing new faces and talking to some that I could tell, about 15 to 20 kids throughout the week that had never been to our church before
yeah,
had come as a result of the Facebook ads. And just to give you a comparison, because like I said, we're only able to outreach once a month and knock doors like that, and we only passed out VBS flyers physically for one day, one Saturday before VBS. And last year, VBS, without the Digital Tract Ministry, we averaged 15 to 20 kids a night. This year, after the Facebook ads, we averaged about 50 to 55 kids per night.
wow.
And a lot more adults came as well. So we had a larger VBS, and it was amazing to see the Lord work.
Yeah. Amen. Yeah, that's awesome. And was it y'all that told me that y'all also seen some people come to Sunday afterwards, like to the church service? Was that y'all or another church?
Um, After the
No,
Easter service, you mean,
no, for the
or
VBS.
VBS?
Maybe it was
Um,
another.
no, we had a visiting couple that came on Wednesday night that had never been to our church before. They didn't know it was VBS. They just showed
Yeah,
up on Wednesday night and they came. I don't remember if they saw the Facebook ads or not, but they
yeah.
were just Googling churches in the area.
But yeah, I think it was somebody else. We have several churches running VBS ads right now, but we had another church I think that ran a VBS ad, and they said that they had several families come back the following Sunday from people they've seen that week. So maybe that was somebody else though. But yeah, that's still awesome though, man.
Yeah, we did have that as well. We
Averaging
had
15 to
uh,
20.
we had two or three families that came a couple Sundays, after the Easter service on the first one we had.
Okay, awesome. Can you hear me? Sorry, there's a little lag. I think the internet connection there broke up for a minute.
Yeah,
Can
I
you hear
can
me now?
hear I can hear you. Your video's lagging a little bit.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, apologize. There ain't no telling. Yeah, no, but that's awesome though. Averaging 15 to 20 and seeing 50 to 60. I imagine everybody was super excited, So that's awesome. So as far as your experience, and I know y'all have only ran 2 campaigns with them, but just your experience with the Digital Tract Ministry, because that's why we do these case study calls. Anybody who's watching this, the whole goal with these calls is really for you who are watching who might be skeptical about the Digital Tract Ministry. We have questions all the time. Does this really work? What are churches really seeing for this? And when we create these videos, put them on our YouTube channel or wherever you're seeing this from, the whole goal is to let you hear from somebody who's like personally has implemented into their church, and what the Lord's done with it. And it's not a get growth quick scheme. We tell churches that all the time. It's not a get growth quick scheme. This is literally something God has to bless. God has to anoint it. He has to touch it. Prayer is what God blesses. That we do that for God to bless what we do. But the outreach is just like any other outreach method. God has to bless it. And it's just been amazing how God does bless these digital tracts over other outreach methods. And so it's just absolutely amazing, just compared to door knocking, anything else. And we go door knocking, we're not against it. But out of all of our outreach yearly, digital tracts by far we see more visitors from. And so I said that just to say this to anyone who's watching, just to give you, that's what this video is for. If you're skeptical about it, you hear, from someone's own mouth what they've seen in their church and what the Lord's done with it. And, they might see 3 first-time visiting families next time they run them. That's still great, still wonderful, seeing first-time visitors, you don't always see 20 visitors, you don't always see 30 visitors, but it does happen often, and it's amazing when God does it. And, we've seen 50, 60, 70 first-time visitors before from these. We've seen a couple churches, there are only a handful that have seen 100 first-time visitors to one service. Could you imagine? And so,
Mhm.
so it's amazing. But, anyways, Mr. Caleb, with that being said, what's your opinion on it? What do you think? Do you think this is a good outreach method that you would recommend today?
Absolutely. I mean, we have seen nothing but good results from it, and even times have changed a lot, especially since we had a nationwide pandemic a lot. Just the whole outreach game has changed. But even Pastor would want me to tell this little story because we've been doing VBS at our church for years, and he has a ventriloquism puppet that he uses at VBS. And one of our Facebook ad videos, he did with his puppet, and there was a man that saw that Facebook ad, and he said, "That's the same guy and the same puppet that was doing VBS when I was a kid." And he looked at his kids and he said, "You're going to that
Yeah.
VBS." And so
Amen.
it has even like rekindled some old relationships in our community and got us talking with some families that, now we're preaching to the kids of the kids. And so it's even opened up doors like that to get us back into people's lives, not just
Yeah.
new visitors, but old ones that we'd love to see again.
Yeah. Wow, that's awesome. Yeah, I tell folks, when you run these, you reach so many people in your community that even those who don't come to your church that see your ads, like you're amazed at how people remember you though now. They remember your face, they remember the church name. Like I've been standing in lines at the grocery stores in the community where I pastor, and somebody be like, I know you. I saw you on Facebook or
Yeah.
something like that, you know? And it just really builds who you are. The name of your church.
You there?
Door. And it's like they are people, they put your name out there to where, you knock on someone's door, you're not really a stranger to them. People know us all the time when we knock on their doors from the internet. So, but yeah, that's awesome. Well, I appreciate your time, man. I appreciate you hopping on here. If you're watching this and you're like, all right, this is good, we want to get signed up with it, I'll put a link. Call with us to learn more about what the ministry looks like set up for a church. Or if you're interested in us teaching y'all how to do it, kind of like how we did Caleb and them, we'll put a link below to our coaching program where we can teach you how to do it. But with that being said, Mr. Caleb, if you need anything from us, support wise, help with anything, just let us know. And have a blessed rest of your night.
Absolutely. Appreciate it. You have a good day, Brother Dalton.
Yes, sir.